What is up, guys? Welcome back to Loveshack Entertainment, and today we're bringing you another zombie deck profile. So yesterday we uploaded one, and I promised a second part, and a lot of people were asking about it. Just was a little bit a day late because I had some stuff going on. So here it is. This is basically a little bit of an alternative to the Shiranui build. But if you're interested in checking that build out, I'll toss a link down in the description below, so you can take a look at that and compare and contrast whichever ones you want. So without further ado, I'll get right into it. I apologize, the camera angles on this one's going to be a little bit weird because I'm just not at home when I'm filming this. So it's just a little bit off. So if you could bear with me on that, let's go ahead and get started. So it's triple Mizuki, because obviously Mizuki's just way too good not to play. It's the backbone of any zombie deck, and it's just very good at getting your plays back. Also, triple Unizombie. This is one that unfortunately it does kind of suck to draw into, but the fact of the matter is that it's still one of those things you need to draw in order to fuel your combos. So it's a 3 of just because of the fact that it's so effective at what it does. Now, this is where we differ because I'm not playing any of the Shiranui stuff in here, so let me just, this is going to take a little bit of a different turn. 2 Card Trooper. So, I actually have kind of started to like this card a lot more now because of Call the Haunted and stuff and how good that is in this deck. Card Trooper mills and sets up your graveyard, and like at least 50% of your cards benefit from being there. And if they do MST Call the Haunted, you can chain it, bring back Card Trooper, and then you get to pop in the draw. So it's actually a really good card in the deck, and in testing it's worked out surprisingly well. So time will tell whether or not it's something I elect to keep, but for now it seems to be working pretty good. 2 Max C. Max C is obviously, like, I don't feel like that's one that I really need to spend too much time on. It's just, you know, everyone, Pepe, Cosmo, Monarchs. It's not that great against Monarchs, but even then you can still get a 1 or a 2 off it sometimes, so it's not bad. True Zombie Master. I've thought about bumping this to 3. Excuse me, and I might now because I have Zombie World in the deck. But either 2 or 3 Zombie Master, or 2 Zombie Master, 1 Goblin Zombie. So I'm going to kind of play around with some numbers and see what ends up working best, but I definitely think Zombie Master is good, just because with Zombie World you can bring back so many of your other cards. 2 Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworn. Again, just really good. It's a tuner. You can mill with it. On top of that, it really is just a decent beat stick, so all in all, it's just a very useful card. 2 Effect Veiler, because you still want to, this is like, you know, key against Monarchs, but it does hurt other things as well, hit Farm Girl, or Skullcrabat Joker, things like that. So just, it's obviously a really good card right now. Ghost Ogre is also a viable option, especially if it gets the tuner, but Effect Veiler is at worst a 1-for-1 target, so you just kind of weigh the pros and cons. 1 Summoner Monk. I don't remember if I was playing 1 or 2 when I did the video last time. It's just one of those things that you really want to use early game, but it's kind of terrible to draw late game. Basically, you can use Monk to bring out Raiden, or you can use to bring out Zombie Master, Mizuki, Zephyros, whatever, and just kind of set up your graveyard. So it's effective for that purpose, but at the same time, later in the game when you've gone through your spells, it's a pretty dead draw. And then 1 Perform Age Hat Trigger, because it's an Earth level 4 that you can special summon. So with Glow Up Bulb, you can make Naturia Beast, which is a great first turn play against really any of the top 3 decks. And not to mention, it just works for rank 4 plays if you want to do that. 1 Zephyros, because Zephyros is just too good in here with Call the Haunted, Fiendish Chain, Zombie World, things like that. It's so easy to utilize and bring back. Not to mention you can dump it with a bunch of stuff, so it's just a good card. 1 BLS, and I hate to fall into that trope of playing BLS just because I play light and darks, but you play at least 5 lights and about like 7 or 8 darks, so there's no reason not to play him, especially because it's just a powerful beat stick if you can bring him out, and you can go head-to-head with the spaceships. 1 Mathematician, just to dump stuff, obviously, and 1 Glow Up Bulb, because it's just too good of a card, and it allows you to make Naturia Beast, and also whatever other cards you feel as though you want to make. For the spells, like I said, this is where we really differ from the last one. So there's 2 Zombie World. Now, I understand that a lot of people aren't hugely fond of Zombie World, but the fact is now that Monarchs are kind of running around as much as they are, Zombie World as a main deck choice isn't that bad. It stops the tribute summoning, so it really works in your favor, but it also disrupts typing and allows you to be able to bring back your monsters with Mizuki and stuff. So just a really good card overall. 2 Instant Fusion, because Norden is just basically a monster reborn and allows you to make whatever plays you want. I like it a lot. I know some people have kind of suggested playing it at 1 or 3, but I mean, I don't like the whole idea of playing 3 Instant Fusion and only 2 Norden, because then you're guaranteed that 1's going to be dead, and I'd rather devote the space to other stuff. So 2 is good for me. 2 Twin Twister. This card is just awesome. It's really good against everything, and especially in a deck where the graveyard is so important, you really don't mind dumping any of your stuff. 1 Foolish Burial, because why not? It's basically a Rhoda in here. 1-for-1, this is just really good because it can bring out Glow Up Bulb, and it can get any of your zombies in grave. But at worst case scenario, you can use it for a Veiler for a quick Synchro Summon as well. 1 Allure of Darkness. I still play enough zombies that it's worth it to be able to, darks that it's worth it to be able to play. I'm trying to get Burial from the Different Dimension, which, believe it or not, is a little bit harder to come by than it should be. So in the meantime, it's not in here, but I think it will be eventually. So it'll definitely just work out even better. 1 Galaxy Cyclone. So I got a Galaxy Cyclone because I just feel as though it's one of those things that because you're able to mill so much and get it engraved, it's just something that'll be nice to hit a pendulum scale. That's why I'm playing that over MST, because I have Twin Twist there. And then one Rhoda, just to search out Raiden and thin the deck. It's never really dead, but in the instance that it is, you can just use Summoner Monk to special something. And one Soul Charge for the spells, because obviously your whole deck is based on the concept of Revival, and you want to be able to have access to that. And for the traps, we have triple Call of the Haunted, because it's just too good in zombies in general, especially because of reusability with Zephyros and stuff. But it's also basically a chainable draw, bring back Card Trooper, and if I do end up playing Goblin Zombie, there's some combos with that too. So it's just a good card in general. 2 Fiendish Chain. I know some people are going to be like, whoa, Fiendish. It still hits a lot, and I think it's a little bit better now that Monarchs are a thing, because it does stop things like Idea from going off. But again, I like the interactions it has with Zephyros, and I just like the fact that you can stop attacks. Storming Mirror Force is another possibility if that was something you're interested in trying. I'm not necessarily against it, but I just haven't been able to do enough with it to know that it's the best play. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, because Pendulum, and 1 Solemn Warning, because why not? Solemn Strike is another one. I just don't really feel like shelling out the money to get it right now, at least in terms of when, waiting for the deck to be finished. Side deck. I actually have one now, I promise that. So, 2 Majesty's Fiend, because it does, it's just a really good card. I mean, I feel like it hits everything, and it's easy to bring out, especially with, the fact that you can get extra monsters on the field. 2 Light Imprisoning Mirror for the Cosmo matchup, because fuck that deck. 2 Dark Hole, just because field wipes and whatnot, especially against spam heavy. Artifact Lancia, it's a really good Cosmo side as well. I just don't like Imperial Iron Wall, even though you can play it in here. It does kind of screw up your Mizuki, so it's definitely not the best option. 2 Fairy Wind, I still like this card. I still like it against Pendulum decks. Unfortunately, I never draw it when I do side it in, but it's a good card, and there are other things you could play. Double MST, because I'll side heavy when I'm playing against any Pendulums, just to make sure you out those scales as quickly as possible. 2 Divine Wrath. This is more so for Monarchs than anything else, but I found it's decent against Cosmo too. You could play Ultimate Providence. I just feel like the fact that sometimes you're going to have, like, missing a card, you're just safer to go with Divine Wrath, in my honest opinion. And then 1 Quick Booster. So this is like a little bit of a tech card, but it's actually really interesting. For those of you unfamiliar with what the card does, when it's destroyed by your opponent's card, you can add a Quick Play spell from your deck to your hand. And you can activate it at any time to shuffle a Quick Play spell from your graveyard into your deck. So if your opponent Twin Twisters and this is set, and then you get to search a Twin Twister of your own, you're just in a strong field position because you turn their card into a +1 for yourself. And you can also chain it when that does happen, so even if there's something engraved you want to search, you can do that too. So it's just overall a really good card. And then for the extra deck, which I probably should have done that in a different order, but so the extra deck is pretty standard, but it's also, I'll explain anything if there's any confusion. As far as the ranks go, I probably should have had these in order before. I got Castell here because Castell is just too good not to play. Number 101, Silent Honor Arc, and Dark Rebellion, Exceeds Dragon. There are other ones you could play, obviously, like I'm sorry, that's RIP. Daigusto Emerald, Ragna Zero, things like that. I don't really go into ranks much, so just to have a few there is really the most important thing. For Synchros and stuff, just starting with the lowest leveled ones, I got Armades and Naturia Beast. And Naturia Beast is super easy to make with Glow Up Bulb and Mizuki, or Glow Up Bulb and Hatchricker, so it's just one of those things where it's too good not to play. It does really kind of fuck over all the top decks. I don't play any 6s, actually, because I just don't really see it as a necessity. Goyo Guardian's not exactly the best card ever right now, so it's just one of those things I'm not a huge fan of. So I play 1 Yahtzee because it's not targetable, and 1 Black Rose because Field Nuke. I don't go into 7s much either, but when I do, Yahtzee's probably the best. It's always Dos Equis. So yeah, Yahtzee, Black Rose, pretty good for what it does. And then I do play a decent number of 8s just because of how frequently I make them. So I play Scarlight, Red Dragon Archfiend, Stardust Dragon, Colossal Fighter, and Scrap Dragon. I like Colossal Fighter because its ability to go head-to-head with Cosmo spaceships most of the time. It's the one I make least, but I play against Cosmo a good amount. It's highly represented in the meta around my area, especially at locals, so it's just a personal choice, but there are, of course, other options you could play as well. And then I have 1/9, obviously, which is Trish, which, you can bring it out with Glow Up Bulb and any 2/4s. Among other things. And then 1/10, which is Leo. Leo is still good. Unfortunately, it is susceptible to Ignister Prominence because that doesn't target, but, I mean, again, if you have decent back row, you can, prepare yourself for that. And then 2 Elder Entity Norden, like I said, that's just kind of self-explanatory with Instant Fusion, so So yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything of the like, you can leave a comment down below. Feel free to give us a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to check back for more videos right here at Loveshack Entertainment.